I thought I was going to die.
3,976 metres above sea level. This is a brutal 4 a.m. hike up Acatenango, overlooking Fuego, aka the fires of Mount Doom. We're going to be covering everything that you need to know, and we have the most heavily requested guest on the channel. Neens, how are you feeling today?
Little sore, but glad to be here. So thanks for having me.
Perfect. So yesterday we did Acatenango, taking you to base camp. We're going to get Neen to count that very, very shortly. If you do find it useful, if you do have any questions, bang it in the old comments down below, and let's get straight into it. So the key tip for me is on the hike, you get to base camp and you have an option to go and hike up Fuego, which is an extra 3 to 4 hour hike, depending on your VO2 max. And there's another hike, which is what we're going to cover now, which is the morning hike, the sunrise hike. If you only do one, do the sunrise hike. We didn't do the Fuego one. We spoke to many people who did it. It's a 3 hour hike in the dark, head torch on, and you get about 10 minutes at the top. Super busy. So yeah, if you're only going to do one, do this sunrise one because it's top draw. So you hike up the mountain. It's been a brutal day. The legs are sore, the head's sore. You're looking for a little bit of rest. We thought, can we get our own tent, at least between me, my mum, and Emma? Absolutely not. We were sharing with 3 random blokes we met out on the trip. Shout out to the boys, of course. So yeah, we were all huddled in there like penguins, couldn't move. If one person wanted to turn right, everyone had to turn right. It was an absolute disaster. Nutrition at that level, that altitude, you think you're going to get some good meats, some good carb sources in the system. Absolutely not. The food was terrible. However, the journey, the views, absolutely spectacular. So in a tent, 6 people, you're not getting much sleep, probably got about 2 hours each. We get up 3:45, we start at 4 a.m, battling our way up. I thought it might be nice through the woodland, just sit out, nice hot chocolate to enjoy in the morning. Oh no, it was an absolute ridiculous start to the day. I'm not joking, it was like this steep to start with, and it didn't hold up at any point. The calves are battering the quads. It was a sheer drop on one side. So you're walking up a mountain this steep, and then the drop on the side was like this. So I'm walking, trying to not fall over, trying to look after Ange so she doesn't bloody fall over as well. Emma's up in the distance, can't see. We're in the clouds, so like you're actually like getting wet at the same time. And it was absolutely Baltic. Normally when you're walking up that severity, that hill, it's super, super cool, keeps you nice and cool. But no, it was freezing. The wind was blowing, a little bit of moisture on you, which for any of you geographers, you geologists know, that makes you even colder out there. It's about -4 on the top. So between me and you, that is pretty bloody cold. Couldn't feel our hands. We had Em on the floor, all huddled together, trying to keep her warm as we waited for the sun to rise. And this is why you need to pick a good day to do this, because if you pick a bad day and you don't get a good sunrise, you'll be pretty cheesed off after the brutal hike that you do. But the sun came out peeking through the distance. We had the volcano erupting on one side, the lava flow, the ash flow. It's just an absolute mesmerizing little morning. But I'm going to pass over to Ange and get her account of the hike, what you felt about it. Would you do it again? Were the views worth it? Give the fans what they want to see.
Come to Guatemala, he said. We'll do a little hike up a little mountain, volcano, whatever. Well, we set off. I'd only been walking 4 steps, and I realised it was going to be an absolute killer. The hike said 4 to 6 hours, and I thought at my pace, I've got 6 hours of this. It went up like that from the absolute beginning. It was hot, and it was hard. And the ground was so slippy, shale. I started off, I thought, what the hell am I doing here? And I've got Gareth in my ear going, you've got to do a different challenge every day. Something that challenges you is good for you. And I started walking and walking and walking. It never got any easier. The first hour and a half, I thought I was going to die. With heat, my legs, my breathing. Oh my God, you've got Gareth at side going in through your nose, out through your mouth. I couldn't breathe. Through my nose, through my mouth. And if he said it once, you're not breathing correctly, I could have punched him more than once. But I carried on. There was quite a lot of stops, which was good. But every time you stopped, you had to start again. And it went up and up and up. There were no level bits. It never, ever stopped. But we carried on, and eventually we turned the corner. And what did we see? 6 tiny tents, marquees, in the distance. Our beds for the night. Looked in, saw the 5 sleeping bags, thought, fair enough, I can go with that. For once in my life, I can rough it. Oh no, we're putting another sleeping bag in. 6 of us, so 3 random lads, me, Gareth and Emma, all in this marquee, like penguins, like Gareth said, sleeping bags at the bottom. Absolute nightmare. We all went to bed about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't think any of us slept before 12. But quarter to 4, the alarm went off and up we went. I thought, not too bad. What, like Gareth said, small hike up. Oh no, another brutal hike like this, pitch black, with your torch on, absolute unbelievable drops to your right hand side, battling the wind, the cold. It was freezing. And like a true northerner, I did have my shorts on, but you know, I'm good with that. We got to the top, it nearly blew us off. You couldn't take pictures, our hands were so cold. But it was worth it. The views, the sunrise, it was absolutely amazing. Would I do it again? No. Once the challenge has been done, it's been done. We look for something different. And I'm sure Gareth has got a lot more up his sleeve. So I'll pass you back over to Gareth.
Quality. Good to get a rendition, some insight for 2 people at the opposite ends of the cardiovascular ability scale. But no, on a serious note, like, it was unbelievably difficult. So yeah, extremely proud, me and Em, of my mum for getting up there, doing the sunrise. Excuse me. And even when she got back down, 3 people separately came over and congratulating her. Absolute hero, absolute inspiration of the scene. So yeah, ridiculous. And even in our group, there's like kind of like 3 groups going together. We were at like the front third, not maybe even the front quarter of all the hiking. So putting all the younger ones to shame out there. So what we said the other day about getting after it and doing more, Neens is all over that. The way down, as we've said, it was all uphill on the way up there. The way down was so fun. All that kind of like sand and shale. I was just running, sprinting down. Like, you couldn't even, like, the scenery was unbelievable. As you're running, the sun, obviously say the volcano in the right-hand side, Fuego, and the sun rising on the left, just absolutely ridiculous scenery. Came back down, grabbed our bags, and then, yeah, it was just all downhill. And this is one of those, if you can only go up or down, mainly you want to go down. On the way up, it's all cardio. It's absolute killer on that front. On the way down, the quads, because it's so steep and there's so many steps, it's just absolutely peppering the quads the whole way. So we're all a little bit sore, a little bit tender, today. But overall, unbelievable trip. Would highly recommend doing it. I'm not going to tell you our tour company's name because I would definitely not recommend those guys. But the trip itself, everything about it, the people we met, the scenery was phenomenal. The one key thing I would say is before you book it, check the weather forecast, because if you were hiking up there in the rain and it was all muddy and slippy, it would be, 1, unbelievably difficult, but 2, you soak in, you get in a tent, all your stuff's wet, you're hiking the next day, you've got no visibility. If you did that hike, it would be great for the sense of achievement, but I think it's made because of the views of Fuego, the views in the distance, the views of the sunrise. If you don't get that, I think you would be pretty pissed off that you've battled all that way up there. But yeah, hopefully that is some insight. If we've not covered anything, if there's anything else you want to know, Guatemala, travels, Fuego, Acatenango. Luckily I pronounced that right because I thought I was going to absolutely butcher it at the end. Bang the questions in the old comments down below. Whilst you're down there, hit that subscribe button. Questions for Ange as well, and thumbs up. Like the video for Ange for smashing it and getting all the way up the mountain. We'll see you tomorrow, babe. Remember, the chef is always cooking. Let's get it.